Hi guys, welcome back to the last video in this series. We are going to be talking to students about why they chose KU, their favorite question. Could you all introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Emily Leiker. I'm a 3L and I'm from Hayes, Kansas.
I'm Colin Finnegan. I'm also a 3L, but I'm from Morris, Illinois.
I'm Valeria Carvajal. I'm a 2L and I'm from El Paso, Texas.
All right, guys, the million-dollar question. Why did each of you choose KU?
So I ultimately made my decision to come to KU after I took my tour. So I went on a tour with a law school ambassador named Jake, and he just seemed so friendly. He talked to pretty much every student and professor who passed by, and they all, started up a conversation with me, told me about, life in law school, and I just thought it was really cool. It was a way different experience than I had at other law school visits, where everyone just seemed genuinely friendly, and everyone, seemed to get along and know each other, and that's just not something that I had experienced on my other law school visits before. So that was kind of the tipping point for me and what really made me decide to come to KU. But I also really liked Lawrence. I like the location because, it's right between Topeka and Kansas City, so you have a lot of options and opportunities professionally. If you're looking for internships or post-grad work in the area, you have access to two major legal communities, which is really cool. And just Lawrence has a lot to offer. There's a lot of cool things going on, a lot of really great restaurants. And, if you get bored with Lawrence, you can always go to Kansas City. So that was also just kind of something that helped me make my decision.
I'm pretty much similar to Emily. I took a tour and got to see the environment and everything. And I think a lot of law schools say we're not competitive, it's friendly and everything. But I think the difference between KU, at least that I felt when I visited, was I saw that actually in practice. I mean, everyone was getting along. It just seemed like a super welcoming atmosphere. Everyone was super nice, and the teachers seemed super approachable. And I'm glad I went because I'm glad I came here because all those reasons why I picked KU ended up to be true. I mean, I think we have a good atmosphere and good environment, and the faculty are awesome, and it's a really supportive network of students. So that was my biggest reason for coming here, and it was correct.
For me, I brought my dad along on the tour, and just every interaction that I had with everybody was very friendly. Emily was actually working at the admissions office, and I walked with her to, I think we were sitting in criminal law, her 1L year, and then Jake also gave me my tour. So just everybody that I had an interaction with was just super friendly. And I didn't know Kansas nice was a thing until I visited Kansas. And then I also spoke to Arturo, who doesn't work there anymore, but he worked at the career services. And when I walked in, he just started speaking to me and my dad and just making us feel very comfortable. And seeing my dad feel comfortable about kind of just letting me go there made me feel a lot better. And then, just the atmosphere was just very comforting, and the town was small enough, but not like too small where I would feel confined. And coming from a larger city was just, it just felt like the right place and the right fit for me.
Thanks, guys. Well, I do have one question though. So obviously a lot of you have mentioned tours and the ability to physically be on the KU Law campus, which helped you make your decision. Obviously, there are some students that are unable to physically come see KU for themselves. So do you have any advice or anything that you can tell them to describe it? I know that you all have mentioned that it's friendly and the community is really good. Um, my heart goes out to those people, that cannot physically come before they make their decision. Do you have anything to say to them?
I do. I think, when all three of us talked about coming on our visit, and how that kind of helped us make our decision, it wasn't necessarily the building itself. Or, I mean, Lawrence is cool and helped make the decision too, but I don't think that actually seeing Green Hall or seeing KU or really seeing Lawrence is really kind of what made the decision for us. It was more getting to know the people. So I think people who are watching these videos are already getting a very similar experience and kind of like doing what they can to get that experience that the three of us had when we visited, where they get to like hear students actually talk about their experience and be honest and just kind of show what the environment is like. I think it helped us to actually go and experience that, but I don't think you actually need to be physically present in our building to kind of get those vibes and get that impression of what the community is really like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard thing to think about picking a place that you may have not visited, but you could just take our word for it. But no, I mean, it's just a good place. I think if you try to watch, the admissions department is doing a good job of putting on videos of students and some people in the administration. So watch those, and hopefully you'll get the sense that they're good, genuine people, and reach out to any of the students. If you know any people that went to KU and our KU Law and our alumni, maybe they can help describe the environment, everything. And I anticipate that a vast majority of KU Law graduates would echo the things that Emily, Valeria, and myself are saying. So it's difficult, but I think that it's a really great pick.
I agree with what both of you said as well. And I think just if you really have specific questions, I'm sure other ambassadors would agree. I personally don't mind being reached out to and having even a phone call or anything like that. I know before this, I would offer having coffee with somebody, but that's not possible right now. I recently just got an email from somebody who before she had even taken the LSAT, reached out to me, and we met up for coffee, and she asked me all the questions that she had on her mind, and I answered them as best as I could. And a few days ago, she told me that she took the LSAT and applied to KU and got in, and she was really grateful for me to have been able to answer those questions for her. So, I mean, if I was able to do that with somebody over coffee, I don't know why I wouldn't be able to do that over a phone call or a Zoom meeting or whatever. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's open to having that. So I think just being able to reach out to somebody that's at KU or went to KU. At the end of the day, the people are what make KU what it is, not the actual building or Lawrence itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and go ahead, Emily. I'm sorry.
I was just going to add, I kind of agree with what Colin and Valeria said. Reach out to us. All the ambassadors, our information's on the website. We're more than happy to talk to you, give you our honest impressions, answer your questions. But also, if you don't want to reach out directly, there are a lot of resources on the admissions page. All of the ambassadors write blog posts, so you can kind of check those out just to see what we're thinking, what life is like in Lawrence. Check out all the law school social media pages. There's a lot of stuff on there that kind of give you an impression. So I think just the most important thing is to kind of make do with what you have and get the information in another way, because it's definitely out there. And so this is a really good opportunity to kind of seek those out. It's to help you make your decision.
Yeah, what I was going to say is one of the things that we usually do when we take students on tours is we talk about all the different clinics and field placements and things like that. Obviously, can't necessarily do that because we can't get in the building because there's no tours. Um, but if you go online and look at the different things that our school has, the different courses and everything, and one of the ways that if you want to, if you're interested in a particular area of law or something, like reach out to one of the professors and ask them, email them, and you'll see almost, I mean, it's kind of a little crazy now, so it might take a little longer than normal for them to get back to you. But generally, our professors are so willing to talk to any prospective student, and they'll shoot you straight and tell you the pros and cons. So if you're interested in something like criminal defense work, you could reach out to Gene Phillips, or if you're interested in moot court, you could reach out to Professor Keller's mock trial, reach out to Professor Craig. I mean, I think that's one way to where you can maybe talk to the faculty directly if you have questions like you would in a normal tour, because that is one of the things we do to you. But for the most part, our faculty is so willing to work with students, prospective and in the building. So that might be one way that you can sort of learn more about the school. But there's so much information on our website as well. And like they said, just reach out to us. We have nothing else to do.
Well, thanks, guys. I think you guys did a really good job of articulating that. And I graduated from KU Law in 2015, which if you've ever talked to me on the phone before, you've probably heard. But I think what we're all trying to articulate is that the heart of KU Law is not contained within the building. And even though we're all separated right now, trying to stay at home and keep the curve down as low as possible, we are all still very connected. And so if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us, but also just know that, like I said, the heart of KU Law is not contained within the actual physical building. And it's hard to make a decision right now without physically seeing it with your eyes. But at the end of the day, no matter where you decide to go, you need to trust your gut and your heart, because it's 3 years of your life, but it also is the building block for the rest of your life. So you need to make a decision that you feel in your heart is going to be the best for you. You've got to think about coming back to those alumni reunions. Are you going to want to come back to that school? Is the connection still going to be strong? So at the end of the day, it's obviously up to you. We'd love to have everyone join us at KU Law. We know that that's not going to occur. Not everyone will, but we would love to have you join us and become part of our community. Thanks, guys.